Good morning. It's Follow Up Friday with Frenchie. I hope you guys had a great week. I wanted to talk to you a minute about what's called the BAC, the Buyer Agency Contract. Did you know that this is actually my career as a realtor? It's not a hobby. This is how I make a living. Feed my kids, send them to school, put a roof over our head. Funny enough, a lot of people think of realtors as making millions of dollars when they sell $1 million house, and that's not the case. And some people just think we do this for fun, and that's not the case either. This is our career. This is our job. That being said, typically when I work with a client, I have them sign a BAC right up front. Well, what is that? It's a buyer agency contract. It's a contract that allows us to work together for a period of time that's put on there and holds each other accountable. It holds me accountable to say, look, I'm going to do this much work. I'm going to provide you these services. And it also then holds you accountable that you're going to work with me on whatever properties I show you or for the time period put in place. So I recently had a client that felt really pressured by another agent. There was a house that came up and he's like, oh, I'll show it to you. Well, then this client went and saw this house and they put an offer in. And he told me when I was showing him another house. And I was really taken back. And I said, what do you mean you put an offer in? And so he felt really pressured by the other agent and he wasn't really sure on how to get me involved. Well, you kind of can't get me involved when you're writing an offer with another agent. That's the other agent. But I also didn't have him sign a BAC because I trusted he was working with us. Well, it was a multiple offer. He didn't get the home. So I kind of had mixed feelings about it. I felt bad he didn't get the house. I also explained to him there's other reasons. It's not just the money that gets an offer one. And then I said, okay, I think it's time that we sign a contract together because I've been working with you for 6 months. I've shown you houses for 6 months. My gas money, things like that. There are efforts and monies that we put out as realtors that we don't see till we get to the closing table. And it could be a year or two, and that's fine. It's just we want to make sure we get to that closing table. I had another client that was working with another agent for a while, and then he called me, and I said, well, are you still working with that person? He said, no. And I said, okay, great. I'm not in the job of stealing people's clients. I'm in the job of giving you the best service that I can. And if you're not under contract with someone else, I'd love to work with you. If they're not doing their job and you go ahead and break that contract mutually, then I'm okay to work with you. But if someone's been working with you for a year and they're doing everything they can, and then I show you one house, you're like, oh, that's not okay either. So the point of this message today is to know, I want you to hold me accountable. If I'm not doing the job I need to do, then you tell me that. We have that conversation. In the same regard, if I am doing everything that I can and it just happens to be on the whim that someone wants to show you a house, you can say, look, I'm sorry. I'm under contract with the Brienne French team and I can't work with you on that, or they're going to show it to me, or you can show it to me, but I'm still going to have Brienne write the contract. And most agents are not going to show you a house if they know you're under contract with someone else. They can't legally work with you and do a contract if you're under contract with me. So keep in mind, we really work hard for what we do. We love what we do. You know that. You know that you will too. That's my tagline, right? But it's important that you know this isn't a hobby. It's a career. And that loyalty is so important for me to everyone that I work with. And we have that hard expectation of getting it back. So if you have any questions, let me know. I can explain more about how I lock you in, but how I do everything that I can that you don't even think about working with someone else. I love what I do. I know you will too. I'll see you guys next week. Mwah.